here we are with Randy Wedick from BandPro, and we're at BandPro's 2014 open house. Very busy crowd, and we have a chance to sit down with Randy and talk about some of the latest offerings from BandPro, what he's up to, and what's going on.
Thanks for coming.
What's going on at BandPro? How's the year been? Talk a little bit about.
Yeah, it's been really good. We had a lot of success with delivering Summicron lenses, like a Summicron Cs, which are like really, really high-end lenses that Leica makes that cover a large variety of sensors. They can cover the Dragon in 6K. They're really sharp, but they have a softness to them as well. They're not exceedingly overly technically sharp. That and having a bunch of cameras to sell, like Sony FS7s, have been really great for us. I have got really into A7S, the Sony miniature camera. I bought one of those. I got a couple of new cameras recently. I got a Blackmagic pocket camera also. Like I've been dabbling and experimenting with a lot of cameras lately.
Just to kind of flip around, so you're a shooter as well. You're a cinematographer.
Yeah, and that's hopefully what I can help bring to the experience of like buying stuff here is I've actually used the gear myself, not in like a Vimeo camera test, but like in a film that, you know, will hopefully see the light of day. Yeah.
You've been flown out to sets to do stuff to
sometimes,
kind of
yeah, sure. There have been a number of feature films and very high-end commercials that need immediate support, that kind of thing. And what has been really good for me is I go there and I help out and I solve the technical problem, and then I sit there and I look at all the lighting setups and I make notes, and I'm like, oh, such and such DP, who I'm a huge fan of, uses this here and shapes the light this way. So it's been really like, I get a little education out of it myself too.
And are you working on a couple projects yourself, or?
Actually, yes. What's been going on, I've been, I think I saw the director just walk in, but I've been working on a documentary about Dennis Hopper, which has been really crazy. And we've been managing to shoot that on the Red's monochrome Dragon camera, which is a really hard camera to track down. I've been really fortunate to get the chance to shoot on this camera. It has no Bayer pattern. There are no color dyes, there's no color filter array on the sensor. It's just resolution and dynamic range. So when you say it has a 6K sensor, it has a 6K sensor. That's like, it is so beautiful, this camera. And then I've matched it with these Leica Summicron C lenses, which deliver the kind of resolution you can get off a camera like that. Contrast, the sharpness, the softness. It's been an education. It's been a lot of fun. I can share some footage of that with you guys. It's a neat. It's still in works. It's still in production, but we're really hoping that documentary can go somewhere.
Has there been another Dennis Hopper documentary, or is this one of the first?
There have been a few, but I think they've been more about the information that's there and not about the aesthetic. And Dennis was like such a artist, and he was such a talented photographer. And what we've done is we've taken all of these famous Dennis Hopper photographs and we put them in a book. And then whenever we do a lighting setup for an interview, we see if we can duplicate one of these photos from a book, or if we can do the blocking in a certain way, or if we can go to a place where Dennis stood and stand someone in the same location or something like that. So we've used his visual history as a jumping off point. It's been really neat.
Have you shot at night here in LA? And
yeah, a little bit. I got it right before I went on a trip to Japan. And I got a chance to shoot on it a lot when I was in Japan, and it's such amazing. Yeah, and there's such amazing light there. I went to a trade show out there called Interbee. It's a broadcast exhibition, and it's all Japanese companies, all for Japanese clients, and it's all broadcast. And we come from such a cinema background here at BandPro, so it's an interesting experiment.
First time?
Trade show. No, I go every year now. My mom's Japanese, and I understand the culture, speak the language kind of thing, but you see a lot of really cool technology over there, and also you get this understanding about why certain cameras look certain ways, because the actual light in Japan looks different than the light in California. You get an understanding of, like, back in the old days, why like Fuji film looks a certain way compared to Kodak film. Like Kodak film looks amazing in California magic hour, and like Fujifilm is designed for a certain light when they get over in Japan. You know, you always wonder it's weird, but you always wonder like, why do Dutch master paintings look a certain way? Like, what's up with that? Why is that? And then you go to Amsterdam, like if you go for IBC or something like that, and you're out there on a cloudy day and you look at it and you're like, this looks exactly like a master painting. It's not like this crazy thing that someone invented. They're just like trying to describe where they come from.
We were talking with Dan Neese before, and I brought up, well, it came up, you know, film.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously film digital, we're still a conversation we're having. I don't think it's strange to still have it, and people are still shooting on film. And
you know, True Detective is shot on film. It's a television show, and it's gorgeous.
What's your kind of 2-minute drill on that?
Well, realistically, I think that film is a large industrial process that requires a massive client base to keep going. Whereas like digital, they can just make a sensor and a storage device and kind of send you on your way. And with film, I believe that a large client base is required, and I think that that's what's tough with it, is that I think that in some ways it's really hard to beat. I've shot a lot of medium format film photography recently because I was like, oh, okay, cool, this is like, film cameras are cheap again, and this is probably my last chance to go into it and see what happens. So I got really into shooting medium format film photography, and there's a beauty to it and a tonality to it that's incredibly difficult to get with digital cameras.
And that applies to moving picture as well, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's kind of different. You see like, the films that are being made now on film are either Super 16 because we want the visceral grain, or it's 65 because we want this grandeur that you cannot get with digital yet. Right. And I think that there's cameras coming out, larger sensor cameras, like this monochrome Epic that I use that has a large sensor, a monochrome Dragon, large sensor, full resolution, Alexa 65, which is obviously, it's an interesting device. It's like, I've heard some very good things about the imagery. And I know that the Japanese camera manufacturers are investigating large sensor, 4x3 sensor cameras for the next generation of cameras as well. I think it's interesting because like film is something I really love, and digital is something I work with every day, and I like it a lot.
It doesn't look the same, right, when you're watching a film digitally projected versus the olden days of 10, 15 years ago when everything was...
I actually prefer digital projection. Like really high quality 4K digital projection I think is better than most film projection, with the exception of like things like IMAX and 70mm at the best theaters. This is the thing, it's like, cool, you and I live in LA. We can go to the ArcLight and see the new $600,000 installation IMAX projector, hand-selected lens of Interstellar. You and I can do that. The vast majority of the world cannot,
Right.
They benefit greatly. The mass audience benefits greatly from digital projection, I believe.
What's coming in 2015?
So, you just asked me, what about 2015? Whenever I think about going into the future, I always think about going to Japan. This always feels like it's very futuristic there. I was just there. 2 years ago when I was there were 2 booths at Interby talking about 8K. Now when I went this year, there were like 20 booths. And I think it's an obsession that borders on almost ridiculousness with resolution. Because all you have to do is apply Moore's law. You just have to say oh, we have 4 times the processing power. Cool, we can have 4 times the resolution. That's easy. What's not easy is looking for greater image quality and richness, color, depth, beauty. And that's, I think, where the real future of this all is. Richer imagery, not necessarily higher resolution. At a certain point, we're going to reach a resolution limit that's far beyond human visual sensitivity.
Well, I think that's obviously a drive by people.
I just think it's easy because computers can do it. But it takes the mind and the heart of an artist to get beauty into the image. And I think that's the real frontier. So BandPro is a company that's been around for over 30 years. We were always pioneers in pushing cinematic quality into video and digital productions. If you want to learn more about us, check us out on Facebook. We're at BandPro Film and Digital, or at bandpro.com.